Hey guys, I'm Ruben Dua with Indus TV. I'm here with Anil. Anil is going to tell us a little bit about his company. Tell us about what you guys do, what problem you're solving.
Sure. So what we do is we help businesses capture social media and preserve it in a legally sound fashion, like a business would normally keep their email or important documents.
Okay.
And the real problem we're solving is that businesses now need to treat social media like a business communication. So there are compliance rules, there are legal situations they have to worry about. And they can't just have this data out on Facebook and Twitter, potentially, and having that data lost. They need to have it in their system, they need to have some ownership on it. And many businesses can't even use social networks until they have that kind of record keeping in place.
So you guys basically make social compliant.
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely play a role in keeping those records. Now, one of the areas that we're really interested in is not just the compliance, but really minimizing your risk moving forward.
So I've always wondered, I mean, how do we get these big corporations to use social media more? And it's really frustrating. Some of the largest but most conservative companies have really sort of, shied away from social media. How do we change that? How do we disrupt that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think there's a number of factors in there, ranging from policy to technology. So we're really coming on the technology side, really saying, yes, social media is a business communication. We'll get you the ownership of that data that you need. But I think there's also a lot of work to do in terms of third-party content, inappropriate, offensive material, right? Minimizing that kind of risk, dealing with copyright infringement. We've actually seen lawsuits in this area. And so I think what we're trying to do, and what some other companies as well are trying to do, is now try to address the other side of social media, which is around risk and legal and compliance.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, having a startup is also very, very difficult. We want to hear a war story. Your worst war story, your servers crashed, the big contract that you were going to get just sort of foiled, disappeared. What's been your war story?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we've definitely, I'm almost scared to put some of the stuff out there because as a startup, behind the scenes, you do some things that you don't really want your customers to have to worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had situations where our entire database got corrupted, right? So we're in the business of keeping the data. Now, fortunately, what we do is we replicate the data across data centers around the world. So in the parallel, what we had to do is bring back an older copy of an hour ago and bring the data back over without our customers ever noticing that. So that's kind of the issues that we deal with, is because we're that trusted source.
Every company goes through that, big or small. It's inevitable. Yeah, it's part of the growing pains. If you don't go through it, then you have to kind of question yourself, because then it means it's not necessarily disruptive. How is your company disruptive?
So we are addressing the side of social media that I think is often overlooked. There are countless startups out there addressing the marketing side of social media, measuring engagement, ROI. But what about all the business issues that companies have to deal with? So in one way, we're an enabler. So financial services companies, governments, so forth, have been shy of social media because they don't have the record keeping they need. And the other side of what we're going to do is really address risk end to end, kind of like an antivirus for social media risk.
Okay, good. So how do we learn about your business? How do we sign up?
Sure, go to archivesocial.com. It's exactly as it sounds, Archive Social. And we've got big green buttons all over the site to request a demo.
Big green buttons, guys. Go push those.
That'll force you to convert, I think, to request a trial or a demo, and we'd love to talk to you.
Okay, good. So you guys have a freemium model? It's a trial or a demo?
We'll do a free trial.
Okay, good.
We basically will allow a business to see their own data in the archive.
Good. Tell us something about yourself that no one else knows about.
Wow.
Something embarrassing, preferably.
Only 20 million. Yeah. So not terribly embarrassing, but people always talk about leaving to start a company, and I think most people like to do that in their try to build up a business on the side.
Yeah.
I had a great job at IBM. I was doing really well there, and I quit just cold.
Yeah.
Without really knowing what I was going to do. So it took me about 6 months to land on this idea, and I wouldn't have changed anything about that.
Yeah. Good. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
See you next time.
Appreciate it.
All right.